and he's going to get out and make, you know, the Edwards brothers aren't here. I don't know, Edwards boys here, you know, they make a pretty healthy living. But anyway, you know, the physician should be making more than a plumber. Don't you want your physician making more than a plumber? Got a good vote over here, yeah. So, you know, I feel like physicians need to be paid what they're worth. I think our hospitals need to be reimbursed for what it costs to, you know, take care of us. And you know, as we start losing providers, the only logical solution is to either raise taxes to the point that they can fund all the claims that are coming in, or they're going to start rationing care. And I think you're going to have a healthy discussion about that in just a minute with Dr. Greco. But it is there. It just amazes me that AARP is supporting this legislation. If y'all are, unfortunately, I'm a member. Okay, last year, if you can believe that. Okay, you need to call them. You know, cancel your membership, fuss at them, do whatever. I cannot believe they're supporting it, because the older folks are going to be the ones that come out on the short end of the stick. Have any of you heard of the completeness of life system or doctrine? All right, we've got a couple of hands. All right, this is going to surprise you. A few more. When you're, you know, Dr. Osborne visited about the National Health Board. You know, when you have something that needs to be done, you've got a medical condition or whatever, it's going to go to this National Health Board. They're going to look at that, and they're going to apply one of two doctrines. One of them is the completeness of life doctrine. They're going to look how old you are, just like the film. I mean, that's what President Obama was talking about. I mean, that's completeness of life. That lady had lived a good life. Give her a pill. All right, so she's not going to receive the care that we would want her to have. All right, the other one is a little less, it's simply calculation. It's just simply a calculation. It's a comparative effectiveness calculation, and basically what it does is you take the whatever medical treatment that's needed and the cost of that, and you divide it by the average number of life years the person has left, and then you just go right into a list. All right, so if you're 65 and it's a $100,000 treatment, they're going to look at that, and they're going to look at the 30-year-old that needs a $100,000 treatment, and guess who's going to get the treatment? And the 30-year-old, okay, because his number is lower. All right, that's called the completeness of life doctrine. You talked about the counseling, didn't you? Age 65. Did you talk about that? I missed that. Are you aware that in the bill, once you get to be age 65, or actually you're covered under Medicare, that you'll have to, once every 5 years, have end-of-life counseling? Who is aware of that? Anybody aware of that? Okay, quite a few hands. End-of-life counseling. Now, what that entails, you know, when you read that section of the bill, it's pretty vague. Take it for what it is, but who in this room wants to go talk to a federal employee about end-of-life counseling? Okay? But it's mandated. It's not going. I don't know what they do. I guess they cut your claims payments off or something if you don't go. I don't know what, you know, how that is or how they're going to enforce that. But anyway, another consequence is you can't sue the federal government. You're going to get what you get, and that's it. Now, if Blue Cross doesn't do what you want to do, you can sue them, can't you? Now, I'm not a big proponent of suing people. You know, we try to work it out, but you know, at times there is a need to, you know, call an attorney. You're not going to be calling attorneys when it comes to federal government. The other thing, of course, is jobs. We've already talked about that, what that's going to do to that. Isaac did talk about the federal government having access to your medical records, all your medical records. Punch a button, it's going to be there. Financial records, and the ability to access your bank account. I know, I see a lot of heads, you're shaking, you know, a lot of heads out there just like this. It's just, I mean, it's in the bill. Some solutions, you know, it's a very complicated issue, but I do know that our local hospital here has $18 million every year, or 08, of unfunded care. I know there's physicians in this town that write off a lot of debt, right? One of the reasons our private insurance is so high is because of that unfunded care. We're paying for folks that don't have coverage, all right? And we don't have to, I don't think we have to create a big government bureaucracy. We just need to get some money to those facilities that are providing unfunded care. And there's an easier way to do that besides creating this big bureaucracy. There's enough money, almost, if you look at it, if you were to go through and calculate up all, and I haven't done this, the amount of studies, the billions of dollars in studies that they're going to do, and part of that was $100 million of it a year for comparative effectiveness, which is that what we were talking about, that rationing of care. $100 million a year. Now how far would, and that's just one of the studies, how far would that go if that money was channeled to the folks that were providing unfunded care? Tort reforms, you know, the medical business is not a perfect science. I mean, we wish it would be. You know, when we got cancer, we felt like we'd go get cured. Right? It's not a perfect science. And I think a tort reform would go a long way. We've had some tort reform in Texas. I know other states need more. But I really do believe that providers should only be able to be sued over gross negligence. I mean, that is a huge cost of what me and you are paying for. I do believe, you know, there's a lot of talk about public health clinics, that sort of thing. I believe that can be done by the private industry, you know, by private entities and not the government. I think that's something that can be bid for by contract, or you know, the hospital, they're running all these people through the emergency room over there. Help fund them where they have a little separate clinic where, you know, when the cold comes in, they can send them over to the clinic as opposed to run them through the emergency room. So there's things like that we certainly can do. We've already talked about health savings accounts. I think we need to promote healthy living. The government plan gives no weight, no bearing, nothing towards healthy living. Right? Everybody's going to pay the same, whether you, and I know there's probably smokers in this room, but you're going to have smokers have more health problems, right? But there's nothing in that bill that would promote healthy living, nothing whatsoever. You know, they talk about preventative care, and I agree that that's part of it, and that is a critical thing, and that needs to be. We all need to be going and getting our annual checkups. How many has had their annual checkup? Okay. All right, there's a whole bunch. What is that? 20%. All right. One of the things that the bill does provide, and I agree with, and most health plans do it now, is 100% coverage for preventative care. And the last thing I'd like to say is use physicians that give you the best outcome. Okay, pick your physicians wisely. There's, you know, one thing, you know, doctors, I'm not stepping on toes here, but one of the things I did find out when my son-in-law went to medical school is once you get into medical school, you can't fail. Anybody know that? Once you get into medical school, you can't fail. They will work with you until they get you out, right? And what that told me was I need to be careful about what physicians I'm choosing. Let's say, make sure they're, you know. Now it takes a pretty good job to get into medical school. What, did you make a face over there? Okay. Anyway, Dr. Osborne's a good physician, and certainly go to church with him and enjoy his company. So, and I know he's a good physician. So, that's all I have. Thank you for being here tonight. And let's see who's doing Dr. Greco. All right, David. All right, thank you. Appreciate it.